Hello lovelies. So I'm going to make this video because this is something that has had me pissed off for a while now. Sorry, I'm laying down because I don't like sitting up in my videos. This is something that has had me pissed off for a while. Okay. So let's get into this. Okay. People that sit here and say that or people that sit here and use the government when they don't need it. So people that are on food stamps or disability or living help or, that don't need it, that could go out and are perfectly fine of getting a job. That are, perfectly fine, they just don't want to because they're lazy. And then there's people like me and my sister and my dad and my grandpa and my uncle and stuff like that that need disability and help and government help and stuff like that that can't get it because of these people that are screwing the system. And then everybody's like, oh, well, people are fucking lazy because they fucking blah 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 blah, but they're lazy because they're on unemployment. Well, another thing that pisses me off is people sit there and say, oh, I pay your unemployment. No, you don't pay my unemployment. My money that I worked for, that I put in, they took out of my checks, that's what goes back towards my unemployment, not you. You may pay my disability, you may pay my social security, you may pay my food stamps, you may pay that, but you don't pay unemployment. We pay unemployment. Like, ourselves pay unemployment, okay? So, people sit here and they say, why don't you go out and get a job? You're totally capable of posting videos on YouTube and Facebook statuses and Keeks and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I had a job in November of 2011. September to November of 2011, I had a job. I quit my job, one, when I was moving, and two, when my doctor told me that it is no longer safe for me to work. So, therefore, that is when I got it. That's when I quit working, okay? So, I worked from the time I turned 15 with people, with my grandpa, with my uncles, with whatever, to the time that I was almost 17. So that's 2 years of work that I did. Until my doctor told me that it was no longer safe for me to work. And then even after that, I still put in applications trying to find a job because I didn't have money. And nowhere would hire me because nowhere would hire me. So therefore, sitting there and telling you that people on disability and government assistance and stuff like that are lazy. Not all of us are lazy. My sister's out there, okay? My sister's out in my living room, okay? My sister has a mechanical heart valve. My sister shouldn't be working. She can work, but she shouldn't be. There's not much that she can do healthy-wise to work. She needs disability. She can't get on disability because people screw the system. So it pisses me off when people are like, oh, well, you can work. No, I fucking can't work. Just because I can post on Whisper and Instagram and Keek and Meet Me and Facebook and YouTube and this and that doesn't mean that I can work. Okay? It doesn't mean that I can work. Okay? You don't know what my disability is. You can't sit here and say, oh, you can work. How do you know that I'm not in a fucking wheelchair, fucking, paraplegic, that fucking has this fucking software nowadays that fucking, lets you talk to the phone, or, how do you know that I don't have that shit? You don't. So, you don't know. Obviously, you guys on YouTube know because I'm all like, like that. So obviously, you guys know, and I wail my hands around and stuff like that. So obviously, you guys know. But people on Whisper, which is a anonymous app, you post secrets and it's anonymous. Nobody knows who you are unless you send them a picture of yourself. They don't know who you are. So you don't know what my disability is. You don't know if I can or if I can't work. You don't know that. So that's what pisses me off nowadays, is people sitting here and being like, oh, you can work, you don't need to be on disability. No, you don't fucking know what a person's disability is. You don't fucking sit there and ask somebody, oh, what's your disability? You don't fucking know that. So why the fuck are you gonna sit here and say, oh, I know exactly, or you can work, blah, 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 blah. No, you don't know that. You don't. And that's what grinds my gears so much. It grinds my gears so much that people are like, oh, you can work. I can. Yes, I can. But is it safe to put myself at risk and my company, my boss, my company, the owner of the company at risk for liability issues if I get hurt on the job? Because, you know, no, it's not beneficial for me to get hurt, and it's not beneficial to put my boss, my supervisor, my company, my employer at risk because I got hurt, because it's not safe for me to work. So therefore, next time you want to sit here and say, oh, I know you can work, blah, 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 make sure you know that person's disability before you fight, or before you try to, before you sit there and say, oh, you can work. Because there's some people out there that it is absolutely not safe for them to work. They can work, and they wish they could work, but it is not safe for them to work. So next time you want to sit there and say, oh, you could work, you could work, you could work. Sorry. Next time you want to say, you can work, you can work, you can work, make sure you check out their disability before you say that. Because there's a lot of people out there, like me, like my sister, that want to work, that can't work.